Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Let's Be Real. I'm James, your host for today's episode. I have the privilege and pleasure to be joined once again by the legend himself, Nay. How you doing, man?
It is a privilege, isn't it?
Mate, it's an honor just to be graced by your presence right now. It has been too long. It's been 2 weeks. We're finally back. We didn't intend to disappear for 2 weeks on the podcast here. But Nan had to leave Auckland in New Zealand to tend to some stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got gravely sick. We planned to do it remotely, and it was going to be our first remote podcast where we're not in the same room together. But they'll have to wait for another time, unfortunately. But yes, before we get started on this podcast, if you'd like us to cover any specific topics, then, just hit us up with a DM on Twitter. Not Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, fuck Instagram.
Personal hatred towards Instagram over here. If you have a question or anything, just let us know. We may feature it on the show. Thank you for tuning in for our podcast today. If you enjoy our show and would like to support us, then please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel or following us on Twitter. Also, for more of our content, be sure to check out moviegains.com. This is where we post the majority of our content, including box office predictions and analysis, physical media coverage, movie reviews, and award season projections and analysis. You can also subscribe to our email newsletter to keep up to date with all of our content on a weekly basis. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you. So Nan, it's been 2 weeks. What have you been getting up to? Been watching anything interesting? Doing anything interesting?
How's life? Sore. I pulled my neck and injured it. So, how? You're probably all thinking, he must have been through sports or gym. Nah, sleeping, geez.
Sleeping. That's where the worst injuries come from.
It does, and it's so sore. So, cooked up on painkillers, and nothing a good, cold, odd company can help fix that right now. Did I watch anything recently? I watched Babylon.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that and Ghosted while I was down in Tauranga. Mm-hmm. And other than that, not.
Oh, you watched The Mandalorian season 3, eh?
Oh, yes. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Did you watch it all in like one go? Or were you following it week by week?
Nah, I just watched the first episode when it came out, and then I forgot about the series until I saw on socials that it was the season finale, so I just downloaded it and just watched it all.
Yeah.
On that Anzac weekend.
How'd you find that?
Yeah, it was all right. It was a different season. It was weird. It wasn't really like Mando focused. It was like focused on the other characters.
Bo-Katan and all that.
Yeah. So it was different, I guess, from like that first 2 seasons, but I think like the last 2 episodes sort of wrapped it up nicely.
Yeah, I think it came back into form. There's a bit of like some weird episodes in there, like episode 6 where the Clone Wars droids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think episode 3 with
episode
that
3
doctor.
was weird. Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? What am I watching?
That was so stupid. It was such a waste of an episode as well.
Oh, bro, I was so confused like from the first episode because I haven't seen Boba Fett. And I was like, what the hell? Like, how did Grogu come back here?
Bro, I told you to watch like the last 3 episodes of Boba Fett.
Mate, I know. I have watched that, by the way, now. I watched all season 3 and then I watched those 3 episodes. Didn't watch the first ones because I don't have time for Boba Fett. Ghosted. I watched Ghosted.
That was horrendous.
That was horrendous. I really wish we reviewed that one. It was funny in like a really dumb way. But
it was sort of, when I was watching it, it felt very Free Guy to me, with all those...
Free Guy's good, though.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Like with all those cameos and stuff and how it's like an outsider sort of guy getting put into the situation, but obviously not as good.
Yeah, no, not as good. It actually kind of made, I was about to say Chris Pratt, Chris Evans quite unlikable. I found him just annoying.
He was.
And he's it's a really difficult to dislike Chris Evans in any kind of role, even if it's like a bad movie.
Yeah.
But his character was so annoying to me. But yeah, no, I had glandular fever over the last 2 weeks. You came and picked up your mic, and then I went to the gym, and then I got back, bro, and my head was started to spin. It's like I had just had 4 shots straight away, and I was like, what the hell's going on? The light and everything was just too much. Because, I was sick, and then we went to the Warriors game Remember, like just before you left, the
Yeah.
Saturday beforehand, and I'd just gotten over a sore throat then, and then I get glandular fever the next day, bro. And holy shit! And I had like strep throat as well, and my mouth swelled up, like the inside of it. And so I already have a sore throat to begin with, and then you have all this other stuff added on. My gums like grew like over my teeth. Yeah, and so I couldn't bite down because it would hurt, obviously. And then like it started to like come off my teeth, and like I can't bite down to eat, so like it started like just falling off. Man, it was so bad. There was like days that, and I was messaging you like when I went to the A&E that night because I hadn't slept the night before, because any like swallow, bro, jolts me to sleep. I had the chills, so I was like constantly cold, but I had excessive sweating as well. And so I was like drenching the bed and stuff. And then, I wasn't drinking. I refused to drink because it was just too much. I had a little bit of soup and stuff. So I was like, nah, I'm going to die.
You should have had a shot. It would have made it better.
No, it would not have made it better.
100%.
No, it's like I would define or like articulate it if the act of swallowing felt like an absinthe shot, a shot of absinthe. It just burned and it hurt so much. Oh man, it was probably the worst illness I've ever been through. Yeah.
Worse than the jungle virus I brought back when I went on my course.
No, that was fine. And then you know what I did while I was sick. So we're not going to disclose that here. But yeah, that mutated that jungle disease into something else. But no, it was like twice as worse as that.
Oh shit!
But I'm back. I'm at full strength, or nearly full strength. Ready for a great month of movies. Actually, not so great. Little Mermaid comes out. But anyway, we are going to get... Just got to throw that little dig in there. We're going to get to the show now. Sorry for that massive tangent from us.
So that's Let's Be Real. We'll catch you guys next week.
That's sports games. Oh, we didn't even do sports games.
Oh, we didn't.
I got to watch a ton of NBA playoffs. That was the best thing. I just laid in bed, half dead, watching the playoffs. It was great.
And I watched the Warriors lose for the 2 weeks I was away, so yay.
Oh, yeah, they lost twice in a row, eh?
Yeah.
Here it comes. No, they were some good teams, to be fair.
They were. Yesterday was terrible. It was just drenched. Oh, because I went there. It was just torrential rain.
How'd you go to it? Oh, yeah, it would have been bad weather.
Raining the whole time.
You could have asked to borrow my poncho, but nope.
I would never wear your fucking poncho.
Hey, that came in clutch at one time. I'll do it again. All right. But anyway, on today's episode, we are going to be covering quite a few good topics here. CinemaCon just happened, so lots to discuss there and just a bunch of other goodies. So yeah, we'll be covering the Twilight series announcement, casting rumors for Mr. Fantastic, Jonathan Majors news, the new trailer, and first reactions for The Flash. New details about Kraven the Hunter film, the Next Goal Wins trailer, the Fast X Part 2 announcement, the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes trailer, The Wish, the Transformers Rise of the Beast trailer, so many trailers, and finally, in May 2023, we're going to be finally announcing our top 3 worst films of 2022 and our top 10 films of 2022.
Fucking took its time.
It took its time. It's just a thing with New Zealand. I mean, it could have come 2 months earlier for sure, but like, we get all the great movies in like February.
Yeah.
Like the next year. It's really annoying. This year will not be that because we'll fly over to USA and go watch it early. Just kidding. Yes, but anyway,
really.
We're going to start with the Twilight series announcement. I feel like there's just an announcement on every made property on the planet. Twilight joins the list after Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and you name it. So yeah, a series announcement for Twilight. What are your thoughts on this? What did you think of the original series? And yeah, can this do anything special or different?
No comment on what did I think of the original series, because the only one I watched was Twilight.
The first one? You haven't seen the rest?
No.
Yeah, interesting.
But I've heard it's average and not that great.
No.
I just don't really care about this. It just seems like as if this year I was like, oh, Harry Potter's doing like each book as a season let's bring back. Everyone's forgotten about Twilight. Let's bring this up into mainstream once again. When did Twilight even like come out? It was like 2009, late
I think 2008 was
2000s.
oh no, it wasn't the first one. I think 2008 was the first one.
Let's say 2008.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Like even then, that's still way too early. Like 10, 14, 14-ish years.
Yeah.
No, longer, 16.
No, it'll be 15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, 2008. Yeah, because I remember New Moon came out in 2009.
Yeah, like
I don't know how I know that, but
because you watch it religiously.
oh yeah, no, I gotta watch my things every year.
Yeah, just it's still like, at least with Harry Potter, it's like over 2 decades old.
Yes,
But this is like still fairly
even
new,
worse.
and people are still recovering from it. And now
recovering's the right word. Yeah,
now we're getting a TV series that no one wanted or asked for. So yay! Talk about milking franchises. This is probably the worst milk I've ever seen.
yeah. No, Moana. Let's not forget Moana.
I don't forget about that. That's how fucking dumb it is.
Unforgivable. But yeah, no, man, I'm pretty much on the same boat. Except for the fact that I've seen all of them. Unfortunately, I thought Eclipse, I believe it's called. That was good, and that's the only one I think was good.
Is that the third one?
Yeah. I don't mind this one. You're right in the sense of like it hasn't been enough time, but in terms of, I guess, the iconic nature of it, it doesn't reach the heights of, say, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit forgivable to redo it. But the thing for me, man, there's so much to improve on. Like,
Sorry.
your neck.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's so much to improve on here. So I guess there's a good reason to actually reboot this and make something from it.
Yeah. And I guess it could do a lot, considering it's a TV series now. I'm assuming, I don't think much details has come out, but I assume it's going to be a season of book as well.
I would imagine they'll do that. I don't know. In terms of casting, it could be really fun to. I think those roles are replaceable. I don't think really are Robert Pattinson or Kristen Stewart. They're not so iconic in the roles that you could not imagine anyone else in them. You know what I mean?
Like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. Those ones are a lot harder. So this one's a little bit forgivable. It's going to be interesting to see. I would only really watch it if I hear really rave things about it. It's not something where I'm like, oh, I'm dying to see it, or like Harry Potter, where I don't want to watch it, but I have to because
it's Harry Potter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just like Batman and Robin with me, mate. I don't want to watch it, but I have to.
You have to. Yeah, it is Batman after all. We're gonna move on now. Fantastic Four comes out in 2 years.
2025.
And there's been lots of rumors coming out. I'll list the rumors here. Antonio Banderas as Galactus. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Marvel's offered him the role. Haven't heard anything else there. This is all grain of salt kind of stuff.
It'll be a voice role, not a physical performance role.
Yeah, or maybe like really like dramatic mocap.
Yeah,
kind of a little bit more than what Brolin had with Thanos. The sources that have said this stuff have been really reliable in the past. What else is there? Jodie Comer, Invisible Woman. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they're doing with the Thing.
Yeah, who knows?
The Mila Kunis is apparently in the role. Who knows? The one we are going to focus on because it's the one that these kind of scoopers, I believe that's what they call them on the internet, most sure about is Adam Driver to be Mr. Fantastic. He didn't appear in our fan cast.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but how do you feel about him taking the role if this is true?
I'd actually like him to see that. See him in this role. I think he'll fit it quite fine. He has that sort of voice or that like Mr. Fantastic sort of look to him. He's the right age as well to be part of a long franchise for, I don't know, 6 to 10 years, I think it's a great cast announcement, and he's clearly got the talent as well. Acting wise, he can like do all sorts, so I think he'll bring that with him to this role and probably give us something that we haven't seen before in the previous 2 films.
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
Sorry, previous 3. Forgot.
Yeah,
that the first wave got a second one.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, I'm very surprised. I never considered him in the fan cast because I thought it'd never be something that he'd be interested in. Because, he was in Star Wars, and that's its biggest franchise, obviously. But
That's probably what put him on the map, really.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Because I never heard of him until then.
But then he blew up in terms of independent or art house kind of films, and to the point where he was I think he's been nominated since at the Oscars. But yeah, he mainly chooses really well received kind of films.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's surprising for him, if this is indeed true, for him to go towards Marvel, especially with all the the talk and the way people are talking about Marvel now. It's kind of
it's not Golden Age Marvel.
It's not Golden Age Marvel. And so for him to come on, it's interesting. But you are right. He's got the talent for it. He has the poise of Mr. Fantastic. And, he just commands the screen. Yeah, if when he's on screen, you're kind of just hooked. He just has that kind of energy about him. And I think that's fantastic for Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, dear.
I was like, should I do that? Nah.
Everyone that's listening to us right now just did exactly what I did and cringed.
No, they died laughing.
All right. Put it to a vote, people. Come on Twitter and let us
Vote
know.
how fantastic that joke was. Oh, he did it again. But no, yeah. I lost my train of thought now. But yeah, I'm fully on board if this is true.
Yeah.
And, even if we go back to what I was saying before about Jodie Comer, I think that one's far more up in the air as of now. But if that's true, that's a good match.
Yeah.
I think those two actors would work really well.
Because they both are really good actors and actresses. They've got the talent behind them as well.
Absolutely.
And they've worked in diverse roles.
Yeah.
That's not just the same, usual The Rock or Vin Diesel and stuff like that. They branch out and try to test themselves. So
yeah. I mean, also I did hear today about Human Torch. Paul Mescal was offered the role.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in anything, but he was recently casted in the Gladiator sequel, and he just got his first nomination for Aftersun. So, if you put those three together,
Up and coming actor by the sounds of it.
yeah. I mean, even Jodie Comer's, you can call her an up and coming actor. Obviously, far more established, but yeah, that would be a great trio. And then Mila Kunis is the thing in the middle.
I think they're gonna nail Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, and Human Torch, and then they're just gonna take the piss out of the thing, eh?
I mean, you can. And I don't think Mila Kunis will get it or have it. But who knows?
I just can't even imagine her saying it's clobbering time. That just comes from a really deep, ferocious voice.
The fact that I heard that they're searching for a male and female for the thing, not both of them, they don't mind what gender the thing is.
Yeah.
The fact that in the comics there is a female version of the thing, just run with that character then you don't need to make, what is it, Ben Grimes, Ben Grimm's or something?
Ben Grimm.
Yeah, Ben Grimm. You don't need to make him a female, just use the comic book character.
Bethany Grimm?
Huh?
Bethany Grimm.
I like that, actually. That's good. They'll probably do that. No, yeah, but there's going to be some casting, announcements soon because it's heating up out there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming out of nowhere as well.
Speaking of MCU casting, we may be talking about decasting now. Jonathan Majors news. Yes, so more victims have come forward about the whole Jonathan Majors things in terms of his assault charges. He's also been dropped from several projects that he was signed on for. So it's really heating up and not in Jonathan Majors' favor. Now, this is really the whole course of this entire, news for Jonathan Majors has been really weird because his lawyer came out fully confident that this was nothing.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah, the charges will be dropped soon. He's absolutely fine. They said that even the person who made the complaint to the police even took back their comments. Mm-hmm. And then now other people are coming forward. And I heard one of the victims was someone on Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. They're credited.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No details about the abuse. I don't know if it's, sexual, physical, verbal, emotional, or any, I don't know what what this is, all the details of it, but it's ramping up, multiple allegations that looks very bad. I've heard rumors that, Disney, they're preparing to recast if necessary. And it's probably a good option for them to really do it just in case it gets a little bit more steam behind it. So, yeah, what do you think about this? Is he gone? Does he deserve to be? How should things proceed here?
Well, there's three things that they can really do. And it is a shame because, he's an up-and-coming actor that we were both excited for after we watched Creed 3.
Definitely.
And especially, Ant-Man as well, just because he was literally the best part of a shit film. But I think there's pretty much three routes they could take. First one, obviously, being recasting it.
Yeah.
Just dropping him straight from the bat and getting someone else to come in and fill the void.
Yeah.
Makes more sense because he's only been in about 3 properties now with his face on it.
And you could just make it a variant version.
Yeah. Well, you don't even need to do that. You can just, Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle got replaced quite easily. So you could just do it because it's so early in this little saga of him.
Yeah.
You got that. Or they can let things play out and wait for the trials and stuff and whatnot, similar to what Johnny Depp was, and he ended up being proven innocent, and now his career's starting to come back on track. Or you can go the Ezra Miller route and stick by him, limit his press and have him apologize and go to rehab and stuff like that. Apparently that's working, but that's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
But you can go through that route as well, and you just have faith in your casting of that actor and just want to try and make him a bit better.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring that up because that guy, there's video of him strangling a woman. He's been charged for so much different things on Hawaii, throwing a chair at somebody and tackling someone and starting a cult and, having guns and running away with this 18-year-old, all this kind of stuff was coming out about him. It felt like every Let's Be Real back in 2022 was just a new thing about Ezra Miller and what he's up to.
Our only podcast last year was either Will Smith and the slap or the Ezra Miller shit.
It was always something new with those two. But yeah, and then Warner Brothers like, oh no, Flash is great. We'll see what happens with Ezra. And they're kind of just rolling with the punches. But
I guess it's sort of good. So there's a bit of a tangent on the actual topic, but I think it's sort of it's not a good thing, but it's a good thing, to
roll with them.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers clearly had faith in that film and the actor that, as in talent wise, not personality wise, he did what he did with that role, and then they try to make him better. Send him to rehab and work on himself and stuff like that. So that shows that the Warner Brothers clearly cares about Ezra Miller as a person to wanting to try make him better and right his wrongs.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know if that would be the right decision. I don't know if they'll keep him around and going into their new DCU Chapter 1. But yeah, I don't. They're kind of the same. But if Jonathan Majors is an abuser and has abused multiple people, abused people on set of an MCU movie, Disney has to can him. There's just no other way around it. No one will want to work with the guy, and it's just going to create really bad culture within the thing.
Tension as well.
Yeah. I think they waited out a little bit more just for further details. I'm not saying Majors is guilty or innocent or whatnot, but yeah. Wait it out a little bit more and just see what other details come through. But I think we're going to get a new Kang. I think we are going to get a new Kang.
I think it's probably the smartest move.
Yeah, and probably the safest move. And if you're talking about a saga villain, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Considering how fast-paced MCU is in terms of their storytelling. With next Avengers coming, is it 2025 or 26?
I think it's 25 and 26. Yeah.
2 years away.
That's too fast for an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I feel like we're nowhere. They haven't justified any kind of building to get to a...
It's because Phase 4 was a waste of a phase.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a meme the other day and it was just Thor and walking into the next Avengers movie and not knowing a single person because there's just all these new characters that don't know each other.
I would say the Guardians, but
we'll have to wait and see, which we're seeing tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, we talked about Jonathan Majors, we talked about Ezra Miller. Talking about Ezra Miller, we're going to talk about The Flash now. The Flash is a movie that Naeem was least excited for this year.
But you need to start from the beginning, Carl.
No, I don't have to start from the beginning. That was the last thing we heard about Naeem as an excitement for The Flash, least anticipated film. But there were good reasons behind it, I'll give you that. But it just played at CinemaCon about a month? Yeah, 2 months early, pretty much.
The whole movie?
They played the entire film.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so, they have pretty big critics there and journalists and cinema owners and stuff there. And yeah, you read the reactions? They were overwhelmingly positive, at least from what you'd expect for this movie. Mm-hmm. So we've heard stuff in the past. James Gunn said it was fantastic. Tom Cruise had to call the director because it was really good. And now, we're hearing. I heard a bunch of stuff from one of the best superhero movies.
Yep.
I've heard stuff like it's not one of the best, but it's good. I've heard lots of different things about this. Alongside playing that for that audience at CinemaCon, they also released a second trailer. So yeah, first question for you though. What do you think about these reactions? Does it elevate your hype? Are you actually excited for this movie now?
Oh, you're going to ask one question at a time?
I'm going to do one question at a time. I can't.
I was waiting for all of it to come.
No, we'll do one at a time for you. We can't. I don't want to overwhelm you with questions.
Oh, thanks.
Right.
Wow. Anyone that's a long listener to this would know that in 2021, when we did our most anticipated, I had Flash pretty high up there.
You don't need to justify it.
No, it's part of my answer, cunt. Just let me go. And then, obviously, in 2022... Oh, wait, no, was it 2022 most anticipated was high up there. And then for 2023, I put on my least anticipated, but that was because of all the stuff they had with Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
But now after hearing all these reactions and stuff and seeing the trailers, my hope's back up to what it was at the start of 2022 because the stuff I've seen so far is pretty much what I wanted from this Flash film and what I wanted from a Flashpoint sort of film, like not quite exactly Flashpoint, but what I'm seeing is like we're gonna get that, but it's a different spin, which is still exciting.
Yeah,
and the reactions is just backed it up as well, especially from like two very credible people like Tom Cruise and James Gunn as well. I mean, James Gunn, excuse could be made that he's just trying to sell the movie because he's part of Warner Brothers, but Tom Cruise, he has no association with Warner Brothers. He doesn't have any recent films from memory coming out.
Yeah, he's with Universal, I'm pretty sure. Oh, he's with Paramount.
Paramount, yeah. So, and he barely really comments or even...
Yeah, goes into the public eye with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, especially comic book movies as well. So...
Yeah.
So that is pretty exciting stuff. And then the fact that you just see that they play the whole film at CinemaCon and we're getting all these sort of reactions, it's like finally DC might go out on because they're still Aquaman. But a win for the DC EU, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame the DCU doesn't actually end on this film. It does end with Aquaman. There's nothing else after that.
Yeah, I thought they would have at least like had Blue Beetle, then Aquaman, and then this. Considering
Blue Beetle too, yeah.
Considering this is supposed to like rewrite everything, it would make sense if they ended on this,
Yeah, they should just delete it. But yeah. Yeah, the reactions, man, they get me excited. I saw that first trailer, and I was kind of pumped after that because I was like, I don't know how good the story is going to be or if the performance is going to be good, but it looked like genuine, like classic comic book fun, not in a way that I've seen recently.
Yeah, it looks like as if we're going to get a very different comic book movie like that we've never seen before. Like some multiverse stuff. We're still within the same universes, but each character is the same actor, but different. But this, we're going to get completely different actors as the same character.
Yeah.
But it's not part of the multiverse. It's just a fucked up timeline.
Oh yeah, it's all through like timelines there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it is going to be interesting. It feels quite like similar to No Way Home, at least at this point. Except multiverse compared to like time travel and whatnot. I think it'll be very similar, like multiple Flashes, multiple Spider-Mans, and
Yeah.
coming together and whatnot. You know, Doctor Strange is like what Batman is in this and stuff. But yeah, no, it looks good. I think the reactions really do back it up. The fact that Warner Brothers is playing this about like 2 months early,
Yeah.
it's a voice of confidence for the film. It's going to be, I think it's going to be good. I'm going to be very surprised. I don't have expectations like, oh, it's one of the best superhero movies. I can't give it that voice of confidence yet.
No.
But I'm definitely excited to see it. It's going to be an interesting movie regardless. And you've seen the recent trailer that they just released. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a great trailer. I mean, it told us what the story was about without being so spoilerific, which trailers are so intent on doing these days.
Shazam.
Yeah, I saw that whole movie in like 2 minutes, eh?
Yep.
So yeah, I thought it was really great. They kept the cameos of like both Batman to the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
They had like some great shots in there with the Batman going over the moon to look like a bat symbol and Batman dropping down.
Oh, yeah.
From that, you know, that's iconic from
Yeah.
Batman,
Yeah.
1989 one.
Mm.
Yeah, and Ezra Miller looks like as if he's having just in this role, looks like as if he's having a lot of fun compared to the other films that he's been in so far.
Yeah, he looks good. And I heard
Yeah.
great stuff about his performance too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm right on board with you. It looks like a movie that can balance its emotion and comedy.
I think it's going to be very emotional.
Yeah, it looks like it's actually dealing with quite heavy elements to it.
Yeah.
And which is good, you know. You watch the 2017 version of Justice League and he's just that, you know, comedic relief that just makes little comments here or there that are not funny. They're just kind of cringy. And that doesn't give you much faith in a solo film for him. But it looks like there's a real purpose for his character, and, you know, he has real serious emotions with it.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be good. I'm not really excited for any Batman element of the film. Sorry, Batman fan. I think Michael Keaton looks silly.
How dare you?
And no, like performance wise. And the CGI shots on the Batman's face, awful. It's not finished yet, of course, so we'll see how that turns out. But it's like, I don't know what to compare it to, but I don't know why Batman needs to be in this in such a massive way. At least change it up. So it's not like, at least with like Superman, it's like Supergirl and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's Ben Affleck coming in and then Michael Keaton. Just have a new random Batman for like 10 minutes runtime. I think it would.
Yeah, because in the original Flashpoint story, it was Thomas Wayne as Batman.
Yeah. So it's just something interesting like that. Just having Batmans from past franchises is, I think, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have just loved something different. And not to mention, I'm just sick of Batman. All I want is the Batman, the Matt Reeves universe Batman, and just leave it.
Yeah.
That's all we need right now. Too many Batmans in too little time.
Yeah, we had about like two within the past 10 years at least.
In the past, like 11 years, you've had Christian Bale, you've had Ben Affleck, you've had Robert Pattinson, and now Michael Keaton, technically. There's 4 Batmans on the big screen.
Okay, yeah.
In an 11-year span. That's just too much. But yeah, no, I think it'll work out fantastically once it all comes together, once I see the purpose of it.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to some more news that came from CinemaCon. Kraven the Hunter. It's not a comic book property I'm too familiar with, but you know, you got Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I'm a big fan of him, and I love what he can bring to roles. My anticipation for this film is like, it's gone up now. We're hearing that it's been rated R, and the Rhino, he'll be joining that, the famous Spider-Man villain. So yeah, an R-rated Kraven the Hunter film starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. They showed some footage there. Comes out next year.
Footage. The footage or the film?
No, the film comes out next year, but the footage that was shown, it was really bloody and that kind of stuff. So what are you excited for this? What do you think about the news that it's rated R and the Rhinos are part of it and stuff?
Still a bit indifferent because it is from Sony after all. So I'll probably just wait until the trailer comes out until I actually see what they're going with here. It's interesting how this is R-rated and not Venom or, Carnage as well. Because they're like way more ruthless than Kraven and the Hunter.
I felt like those movies were very close to being R-rated. Like, they're borderline, weren't they?
I think the second Venom definitely was.
Yeah.
Very, very close. But like they're two like sadistic, like insane characters.
Was Morbius R-rated?
I have no idea. Not sure. I completely forgot there was a movie until you just mentioned it. But yeah, it's interesting to see why this is R-rated, and I like to see why when we get that footage eventually. But Aaron Taylor Johnson, I'm quite very happy with that casting. I mean, everyone wanted Jason Momoa, but I think Aaron Taylor Johnson just has the better acting chops to really like capture this character.
100%.
So yeah, wait for footage to come out, and I can give you a proper opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, from what I do know about Kraven the Hunter, I'm excited to see what they can do with a movie like this. And I think rated R, it just shows that I think Sony is, I guess, taking off the shackles to what they can do with like their movie. Having a movie and like having it be PG-13, they have to really like cut and paste, and they have to like, oh no swearing or not too much blood. They have to really put these shackles on their creativity with their like filmmaking. So I think having a rated R is, I think it's a good sign. Obviously, like you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's got the right acting chops. He can really pull it off.
Yeah.
I think, what was that movie? I think he won a Golden Globe for it. Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah. I thought like when you were rambling, I was like, he's not thinking of Nocturnal Animals, is he?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of that one. Yeah, his performance in that, if he brings that kind of energy and intensity to the role, I think he's going to nail this role. And I think having the Rhino, having him appear, hopefully in a more comic book accurate way.
I was about to say, I've heard that it's more comic book accurate than Paul Giamatti's one.
Yeah, where it's just some robot.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. No, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm on board for this movie. Sony's a hit or miss, but their hits are hits. Spider-Man 1 and 2. The golden age. But yeah, we're going to move on to some Taika Waititi stuff. This is the next film called Next Goal Wins. Trailer released, came from CinemaCon. What are your thoughts? Excited for this one?
Actually, I am. It looks so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, they seem to have like captured the Pacific nation, that island sort of culture.
Yeah.
Perfectly within this sort of what we saw in the trailer. And I think like having an outside off like Michael Fassbender, who's portraying an Irish lad coming into this like Pacific sort of nation, is going to be like a real adjustment for him to like seeing like the banter he would have as like a Northern Hemisphere sort of person coming into this is going to be quite fun. Yeah. Some of the jokes are actually pretty funny as well. It's like not too much off the Taika Waititi shit that we get nowadays. Although I did see that he is going to be in it. I was like, oh damn, I was sort of hoping that he wouldn't be.
Oh, is he in it?
I'm pretty sure he was. I saw like he was in the trailer for like a second. I don't know how prominent his role is.
Of course.
But this feels like very like early career Taika Waititi sort of stuff. Boy and Hunt for the Wild People.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm hoping it sort of captures that sort of tone in this. Like he takes a bigger step back and let other actors and whatnot shine.
Yeah.
And I think if he does that, then it's going to be great.
Yeah. No, you took the words right out of my mouth there. I mean, for one, it feels very Ted Lasso-y.
It does.
Some coach gets like fired and then sent to like a foreign place with a different culture and starts a new culture within that organization and all that kind of stuff. And Ted Lasso is great. I don't know how this will work. I'm mixed on Taika Waititi in terms of his directing. I think when he does really good stuff, I tend to love it, but he can produce some duds. But I'll echo what you say in terms of it feels like a earlier Taika Waititi, which is probably the best version of Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
It feels mixed in with a bit of Hollywood in there. Having Michael Fassbender and probably a bit bigger budget for this and stuff. So I'm in. If it can mimic or come close to, Hunt for the Wilder People or Boy.
Even What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
The movie, not the TV series, by the way, guys.
I heard the TV series is quite good.
But the movie's better.
Have you seen the series?
I watched first season.
Oh, right. Yeah. But yeah, no, any of that stuff, then this could be good. I don't know if it will, though. I'm so mixed.
If Thor Love and Thunder was pretty much the same as Ragnarok, would you have the same opinion? Like in terms of quality, if they were the same? Because obviously there's a huge difference between Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's a huge one. No, you're right. My perception would be a bit different right now.
Fucking Taika, you make one bad movie and this is what happens.
It's not that, bro. It's his attitude, the words that he says in response to criticism. Because I remember with Thor: Love and Thunder, he said, I shouldn't have made Ragnarok so good because now everyone just perceives Thor: Love and Thunder as bad. I'm like, no, Love and Thunder is genuinely a bad film. And it doesn't seem like he can take criticism to make his films better.
Yeah.
So if there's that arrogance there, and if he has that kind of mindset and way of thinking for future films, that's what I'm worried of. If he just has this overblown ego and confidence, then I think he's just going to degrade in his quality of directing. But this is very different to his Hollywood stuff, so we'll see. I'm open to it, and I hope we go back to the old Taika. Yeah,
comes out later half of this year, eh?
Yeah. I think in October or something.
Oh yeah.
But yes, we're gonna move on now. Fast and Furious 10 comes out this month.
Fast X, boy.
Fast X. That's gonna be a good one. It looks, as far as Fast and Furious goes, in terms of that franchise, it looks like a good Fast and Furious movie. It looks like just your standard popcorn flick in comparison to everything else.
Yeah, and sorry, before you get to your question, we haven't really seen in the past two Fast and Furiouses, in the trailers they've shown that big, that big moment that Fast and Furious is known for.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that in these trailers that I've seen so far.
There's nothing where where you can see it and you'd be like, oh, that's the moment.
Because in the Fast 9, it was when they went to space and they showed it, and you're like, okay, that's the
they
moment
did show
there.
it, right at the end of their marketing.
That's the moment there, and then in the Fast 8, they show the submarine sort of chase.
There is
in the trailer.
There's a moment in the trailer where he's driving down, I think it's the Hoover Dam.
That's it.
I don't, but that feels like not the moment because. Well, for one, you can't top space, especially for Fast and Furious. Fuck. But it still doesn't feel like the moment for this franchise. But the real announcement came from CinemaCon. Fast X Part 2, 2025 it will release. So 2 years from now. That is the final one. So they've committed to it. I don't think they will. I thought they were just going to keep doing these movies. But they've committed to an ending. As far as anticipation with Fast and Furious, I think me and you, we enjoy them, but we don't really anticipate those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Would that be different for the final one? Despite the fact that we haven't actually seen Fast X yet, because it's Fast X Part 2. So I think this is one story here.
I think it'll be a little different, I think it might scrape in, the number 10 mark or honorable mention come 2025 list.
Yeah.
But it's nothing there. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm actually anticipating this. I cannot wait. I'm losing sleep because I need to watch this right now. Is it actually called Fast X Part 2 or did you just...
Fast X Part 2, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah. Why is it? Because it's got a Roman numeral there and then it's like a Part 2.
Yeah, so it's Fast 10 Part 2. Why not just call it Fast 11?
Awesome. Too fast. To forever. That's not that bad actually.
No, but no.
Fast X Forever.
We'll just call it Fast Family.
That's a really good one. That's good. I don't know if you're memeing or not, but that's actually good. Yeah, considering it's all about family.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it's 2025. I thought they would have filmed this back to back and just went this year, next year. Be done with it. But I guess they clearly want. I guess maybe because of the director change.
At the very start of production,
and stuff like that. It's different visions, so they're giving Louis Loretta.
Yeah, and he will be directing part 2 as well.
Yeah, his seen his full vision for it, so I guess it's okay. I mean, it's the standard. I mean, it's usually like a year gap between Fast and Furious films anyway, so
yeah.
Can't. Well, actually, no, I can wait.
Can't wait.
I don't know how to sign off on this topic.
I mean, no. It's all right. I mean, maybe once we see Fast X,
it'll be a different story.
Yeah, because it might be like, oh, damn, what's going to happen? Like,
I think they could potentially end on a cliffhanger.
Could end on a cliffhanger. Could end on like a death of the family, and so you want that revenge. Maybe half of the family fades to dust. And then they have to travel back in time. They go and steal the DeLorean and then go back.
The DeLorean. Christopher Lloyd is.
I wouldn't be surprised if time travel comes into this.
Christopher Lloyd's cast in Fast X Part 2. If that happens, I'm done. I know exactly what I'm going to get from Fast, from the movie in 2025.
Part 2,
I'm going to call it Fast 11. I can't get. I'm not going to call it Fast X Part 2. That's just
Fast
dumb.
Fast XI. Go with the Roman numerals again.
Yeah.
Fast Family, I like that. No, but imagine if they did that. You time travel, and then they go back to like significant moments in the Fast franchise. And then they have to go obtain cars from different time periods.
Get Paul Walker's original skyline from the first film.
Oh, yes. I mean, I think if...
and then, you also, after time travel, they got the multiverse.
And they just keep going around and around. All I know is that Vin Diesel will be in more Fast and Furious movies beyond Part 2.
Because it's his baby.
Yeah, he'll get a solo movie and then he'll be a part of other solo movies.
I don't understand why he gets a solo, or if that does happen, that's going to be so dumb. The whole Fast franchise is a solo movie, basically.
It's pretty much him. But I feel like it's more of an ensemble movie now.
Yeah, but the main story is around him. Fast
like
9
the
was
Toretto
about
family.
About him and his brother, and stuff like that.
Well, we don't know if it will happen, but it will happen.
It probably will happen.
We just don't know. No, imagine it at like the end of Part 2. You just hear like, they're having like one little barbecue again, and then it's like Paul Walker's voice comes on, like I'm nearly there or some shit. Like, imagine how emotional they could make it.
That'd be some. That would tug on the heartstrings for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be good. But no, I'm looking forward to it just because it's a franchise I never thought would end, and I want to see how they can wrap this up because it feels like a franchise that should have been wrapped up 10 years ago.
At Fast 7.
Furious 7, yeah, Furious 7 could have been it. Yeah. But we'll see. We got Fast X in a few weeks, so it should be interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah. We're going to move on to a prequel now. Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This was a movie on my least anticipated. The trailer released at CinemaCon. You've seen the trailer. What do you think about it?
So is this based on the 10th anniversary of the Hunger Games? Or is it the very first?
I think it's the first one. But it's kind of like a villain origin story of Snow. I forgot his first name. I want to say John, but I know it's not that.
Or Snow?
President Snow?
Oh yeah, President Snow.
Yeah. So it's kind of his origin story and kind of the Hunger Games origin.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was the 10th anniversary. Oh, we'll look into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically like another Hunger Games movie. It's not really anything different. I mean, we're not really seeing this is what I'm assuming. I'm just going off my basis that this is the 10th anniversary right now.
I'm just going to look it up.
Okay, I'll keep my comment.
Yeah, keep going.
As in, I'll refrain from saying that, but I'll just talk about the trailer. It looks very similar to the original Hunger Games films. It looks like as if we're just going to get exactly the same, except set in the past, really. Old technology and whatnot. Nothing really interesting or what they're going to do with the concept.
Yeah.
Okay, you're taking too long, so I'm just going to get to my point. I think the Hunger Games would have been awesome if they went back to a prequel, as in like the actual origins of the first.
Like the first one.
The first one where like half of the film or majority, more than half of the film is just them planning this concept, the reasoning why, and exploring the different districts a bit more, and then like that third act would be the actual Hunger Games.
You are right. It's the 10th annual Hunger Games.
Okay, yeah, fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Go off my car. Yeah, knew it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just like no one cares about the 10th anniversary because we've already seen what the Hunger Games is.
Yeah.
I think one of them was this anniversary one as well. In the original, I was going to say trilogy, but there's fucking four of them.
The Catching Fire, I think, is like the 75th or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've already done sort of an anniversary thing. So why are we getting the 10th one? Like, it's so much more interesting if we just see the first one and the origins of it. And I think that's a better concept, and it's something that we haven't really seen from this franchise before, you know? Like, we're seeing the planning of this, the idea of why should we have all these children dumped into our ground trying to kill each other for what purpose and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's just a way better and more interesting concept to make it the first rather than the 10th, because we've pretty much already seen that in 4 films.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I think so. I guess the main concept of the film is the origin story of President Snow.
Yeah.
And I never found him to be like any kind of like formidable villain or interesting villain. He was just kind of like an antagonist in the Hunger Games series, but not like a villain where it's like, oh, this guy, like, you know,
or like where
nothing interesting.
Or where, like, I can't remember what district it was that always won, but like where if say it's a Hunger Games like fucking 20 and like, you know, like that district's not winning, so he purposely sabotages the other district's players in there to make that district win. That's more of a villainous role.
Yeah.
But what we saw him in the Hunger Games, you're right, is it's not really that. It's just more of like a puppet master.
And it's not one where I'm like, oh, I need to see how he became the way he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just seemed like a political leader. But I watching this, I'm like, you could actually make some quite interesting like Hunger Games, like an old fashioned one. And I'm just trying to, because you covered it quite nicely with how it should be based on the first Hunger Games and how they even get to that concept, how society gets to the concept of having kids kill each other.
Yeah.
It's far more interesting than what we're going to have here. But, you know, just extending your point, the first Hunger Games could be really interesting. It could be like old fashioned, like, you know, have like older weapons and environments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you could just make it something far more interesting than this. You can tell that the appeal for the Hunger Games movies and franchise is in the Hunger Games themselves. Yeah. It's not in the like political infrastructure and economic climates of their districts and all this kind of stuff. We saw that with Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. The box office results for those are telling because people are like, oh, no Hunger Games in this. I'll pass.
Pretty much, yeah.
You love that build up to the Hunger Games, and then you have like a good hour of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, where it's just like you're just intense in your
exactly. Yeah, like the first Hunger Game movies, I think are great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and the first one I think would be very interesting. I would actually love to see it. I hope Lionsgate goes down that route.
Yeah.
Once
is this this is an actual book though, right?
Yeah, it is based on another book, which is not as great as the Hunger Games series.
Probably why they're doing it, but if they want to, I don't know if the first Hunger Games, as in the first ever Hunger Games is an actual book, but if it's not, it's a good like spin-off or prequel sort of idea for them.
Yeah. Even a Hunger Games series could work.
TV series.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's a series that could actually...
Hey, the recent trend might happen.
Everything's becoming a series. Every series is becoming a movie. All right, so we're going to move on now. Wish. That trailer came out. It's your typical Disney Thanksgiving film that comes out following the likes of Frozen, Moana, stuff like that. You've seen the trailer. Well, what did you think?
I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah. I think it looks like as if it's, you know, like proper Disney, like back on form, like, you know, the Frozens and the Lion Kings,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's got an interesting concept behind it. So I think they have a real hit on their hands if it actually works out.
Yeah.
Because we know that Disney, like, pumps out stuff like Encanto and stuff, but it doesn't have that same feeling as to what we get in this trailer. Like, there's just
Encanto's
something
fun.
when you're watching it, it's just like this is Disney.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell that the animation is not complete, but I sort of wish that we get that
Yeah.
in this because it's so different to what we.
Well, I think that's the style they're going for. It's like 2D animation mixed with 3D animation.
Oh, cool! So
Like
yeah,
blended,
okay,
yeah.
I'm happy with that because
Yeah.
that is great because it's like not very Disney like. Like you don't see that from Disney. Like they're usually polishing everything, but if it looks like this half-assed sort of stuff, that's just so refreshing and awesome.
Yeah, it kind of looks like bunch of drawings and like paintings and like watercolors and all that kind of stuff merging together. Yeah, I hope they do keep it that way. I hope that is their style they're going for. We don't need the kind of ultra realistic, or we don't need the
Bright colors and whatnot.
yeah. I think this will be kind of interesting, and it feels like it can establish itself as something new if it really commits to what we saw in that trailer.
I think we'll find out when the proper trailer comes out.
The
In
next
terms
one.
of in terms of what animation style.
Yeah.
If that trailer has the same as this, I think this is gonna be like one of the best films from Disney since Frozen.
Yeah, it could be. It definitely looks like it has like the key ingredients there.
Yeah.
I mean, the ingredient that I don't like Disney always using is
The animal.
Yeah, you
Companion.
know exactly what I'm gonna say. They always have to have some cutesy kind of side character that
Merch sales, mate.
it's merch sales, and plus everyone just falls in love with it, and it's just like it's so easy for the studio, which makes me, it just annoys me. Unless the side character has like really good purpose and has a reason to be there, and I don't know, it just has more characterization than just being cute, basically. But yeah, I think it looks good. It's like you said, it looks like Disney's a hit in their hands, and hopefully the final product really reflects the trailer that we got.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Another trailer, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. That one came from CinemaCon 2. It's the second trailer for the film. I think it was in your least anticipated as well.
Yeah.
Does this trailer give you a little bit more faith in the film?
No.
No.
I am glad I put it there. And
It was for the Flash there, but
shut up. Different circumstances. And I'm happy with that decision. I'm putting it on my list. This just seems like every single Transformers film we've seen besides Bumblebee. Just the way it's been marketed, you got the explosions and it just like you just know what you're going to get. We've seen I don't know, this is the sixth one or whatever. We've seen 5 previously.
5 and then Bumblebee, yeah.
Yeah, I'll exclude Bumblebee from this because it's completely different.
Yeah.
But like we've seen 5 films and what they look like, what they feel like, what they sound like, and what the story is. This is exactly what you're getting. Except the only element is that this is somewhat closer to Transformers 1, where you have like an unknown character being exposed to this. Yeah. And Unicron is like a huge Transformers villain as well, and the fact that they're bringing it into this shit
Is that the Planet Eater thingy? Yeah.
is a bit disappointing. They probably should have done it in like Transformers 3 or something. I guess that's probably the only thing I'm excited for is to see what they do with Unicron. They'll probably butcher it. Like Fantastic Four butchered Galactus. Fantastic Four 2.
Yes. That cloud.
Yeah. And I guess the Beast Bots, I think that's what they're called. I don't know.
Yeah, the beast, yeah.
That's a pretty
Based
cool
on
concept.
animals,
Yeah. Because I know that's an actual TV series that links with it.
Yeah.
And we got the Dinobots in the previous film, so seeing the
Yeah.
Beast Bots in this one is just something more refreshing than like, dinosaurs or like other Transformers,
Yeah.
like the car
I mean-
sort of stuff. But
I'm going to disagree. I thought it looked good. For one, Bumblebee's very different. That's a really quiet and close and personal film.
yeah,
Second of all, this was directed by the director of Creed 2, a great movie. Mind you, it might be the weakest of the Creed franchise, or maybe 3. But
was Creed 2 directed by Ryan Coogler?
No, he did the first one. Because I was like, who's directing this? Because it might affect my excitement. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this, but I'll go on with an open mind. I'm interested enough. It feels more classic Transformers.
As
Not
in, like Transformers 1 or like...
no, more like the animated series and just Transformers in general. It feels quite distinct from the Bayverse, the Michael Bay kind of Transformers. And you know, the first Transformers movie was good. The third one was alright too.
Yeah.
Mind you, the other ones have been really bad, but you know, I think like I mean, you had the Mark Wahlberg Transformers, and they were both bad.
Yeah.
But having this new character, kind of like a young teenager, being exposed to it for the first time,
And it's in the 90s as well.
yeah, exactly, and it gives me like the vibes of the first Transformers as well.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the concept and the introduction. So I think there's room to be skeptical and there's room to be a little bit excited. If they can just produce a good, enjoyable, entertaining popcorn flick, I'm satisfied. If it can mimic like what the Fast and Furious franchise does,
Yeah.
like that's not trying to be an Oscar winner or anything like that, but it does what it wants to do really well. Just wants to be fun and enjoyable and ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
If the Transformers movies can do that, then I'm fine. It feels like a franchise that just can sit there. They don't need to be, you know, really deep, meaningful movies or anything.
Yeah.
They can just be good popcorn action. Yeah. So I think this could be that. But we'll have to see. You never know, Transformers. They're just it's such a weird franchise.
It's a gamble.
It is a gamble. I'm going to be telling you in the review that I was completely wrong and it was shit. But yes, we're going to move on to our worst films of 2022. If you guys have been around for our previous times when we've done this, either on I think it's specials or Let's Be Reals.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically what we do when we do our list is we just do it one at a time. We start from the bottom, so the third worst film, and then moving up to second and first, and we just kind of explain our options there. And we'll do the same with our top 10 films of 2022 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nan, kick us off. Worst films of 2022. What is your third worst?
My third worst is Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that I'm a big Jurassic Park fan, and that's more...
I thought you were a Jurassic World fan.
Oh, fuck you, cunt.
Oh, geez.
And that's more because of, you know, the first Jurassic Park, but like having like the original characters come into this, I was a little bit more excited, and then you knew how excited I was to see that, and then watching the film was just completely different. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we got from that. It was more of a disappointing film for me in terms of my expectations, but it was also really bad. Like, you know, like Locust has been the main point of whatever the hell it was. I completely forgot now. Extinction level event or something was it? I can't remember.
They were like growing at like a rapid play.
Oh yeah, and eating all the crops and stuff. It's like
all the food supply.
And I was like, why could you not just like make it dinosaurs? And, you know, the second Jurassic World ended on that like little tears off off dinosaurs and humans integrating together. Finally, we barely saw that really. Like first like half an hour.
The chase scene in Malta was cool.
That was cool. That's probably the best part of the film.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, like we barely saw that sort of integration between, you know, what I'm trying to say, dinosaurs and humans.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been cool, like if we were on it, like we just see a farm and like seeing like, you know, how like humans like use dinosaurs as like farm animals, similar to what they do with real life animals.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's me. What's your number 3?
My number 3, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, that low. Okay.
That low.
Oh yeah, I was expecting
like
to be
that
number
low
1.
as in like it should be higher on my worst or lower on my or like not.
I was expecting it to be number 1.
Oh really? Well, first of all, I didn't go on Thor: Love and Thunder like thinking this was going to be like a great thing. I've based some of my choices on like my expectations and my anticipation, so it kind of balanced it out. Thor: Love and Thunder is a bad movie. We went and saw it at the premiere, and we came out of it immediately being like, "Yep, this is not good."
Yeah,
it's just full of cringe humor. There's no depth to any of the characters. Thor is a bumbling clown jock doing nothing. Korg is comedy oversaturated, just super unfunny. Just I can't even really articulate how annoying this movie makes me feel. I think it's like it's Marvel's Abomination. I think it's their worst film.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. But-
Worse than The Dark World?
Yeah, easy. Because The Dark World has parts that you may like about it. It's shot on location, so it looks nicer.
Yeah.
The character work with Thor, they take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like Taika Waititi slept in, woke up, went to set and be like, we got to film today. Just start making jokes about Hammer being jealous of the other Hammer.
Yeah.
And just like, let's have like a Yui boom. And then
dear.
just like, see. It doesn't feel like there's any seriousness there.
Yeah.
And Christian Bale was a villain in the MCU and they wasted his talent. That's another reason to be salty from me. But yeah, second worst film 2022. What you got?
Lightyear.
Starman.
Stop. Fuck, the song's gonna be stuck in my head now. Fuck you.
I nearly had that one.
You nearly did? Yeah, I just think it was a pretty bad film. It was unjustifiable as well. Like, no one cared about Buzz Lightyear. Like, no one wanted it.
Yeah.
Like, it was unneeded. And then that whole scene of where, like, the two lesbian women, like, they're doing, like, a montage, and then one of them is suddenly pregnant. It's just like, they didn't really give us, like, from just watching it, it just doesn't make sense.
It's just thrown in there just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
To send messages and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was just really bad. And I think Chris Evans could have never lived up to the hype of Tim Allen.
Yeah.
I think if Tim Allen voiced Lightyear, it could have been, it could have saved
it.
It
more enjoyable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Like, because it's just an iconic voice. It's like an iconic character,
Yeah.
an iconic voice. Like, you can't imagine Darth Vader not being voiced by anyone else other than James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
So it's one of my reasons. Like, it's just, and it's a cash grab, and that's probably why I find it really bad.
The funny thing is, though, is that it was like one of the least profitable films.
Yeah.
I think it lost like 120 million for the company.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. But I told you, I told Kyan, I told everybody that I'd ever met in my life, this is a dumb film, don't make it. And then the trailer came out and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool and interesting and the animation's great. And I'm like, no, this is shit. There's no reason that this should be a movie. And then the movie comes out and I was proven correct. So that's why it's not on my worst movies, is because I went into this being like, this can't work. We'll see, but I don't see it. And yeah, judging from what you just said, I think I was correct on that. My second one, though, I think this might surprise you, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Is it because of, like, the hype surrounding it and just not living up to expectations?
Yeah, it's the hype surrounding it.
It's not like it's a bad film in itself. It's just what it presented itself to be.
Bad film in itself. Yeah, you are right. It's not the worst movie if you look at it from like an objective point of view.
Yeah.
If you're talking about my subjective point of view, it's on my worst films of the year because one, I was really anticipating it. Two, Sam Raimi was directing. And, he's a really talented director. I thought he would do some interesting stuff. It's called The Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
The trailers, like, they raised that hype. It came after No Way Home as well. So you had that element to it. And there was just, like, so much going for it. And, it was very disappointing. I don't think the movie is coherent or good. I'd call it average. There's certain parts of things that I like. I like the musical fight between Sinister Strange and Mr. Strange, and Doctor Strange. Mr. Strange. Yeah, and there was some like Sam Raimi definitely brings his directing style into it, and use of flashy cuts and little different editing styles and whatnot.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the movie is a mess. It hadn't know what to do. It doesn't really justify Scarlet Witch's being a villain very well. So
Considering the last we saw Scarlet Witch, she was a hero.
well,
Somewhat of a hero,
yeah, that character's really gone down the drain. I don't know what they're doing. Like,
They fucked her.
I don't know why she has to be a villain. But yeah, it's a mixture between the anticipation, the expectations, and what we got. A big letdown.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Doctor Strange, second worst for me. I think I know your number one. What is your number one worst film of 2022?
Avatar: The Way of Water.
Don't even joke about that. That's too far.
Nah, it's Thor. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah, it was just. I don't think we enjoyed that film. Sorry, you covered every single part so well in your point 3 that I'm just not even going to touch that. But like, we were just not enjoying ourselves in that film. Like, I can't even remember the screening. I can barely remember the movie myself.
Yeah.
Apart from like the criticisms we had on that drive back home,
Yeah.
it was just bad. And like you said it before in your final comments, it was the waste of Christian Bale
Yeah.
as a villain, and he was literally the best part. He was like
Yeah.
the only time I was actually engaged in watching that film, and I was
Mm.
like, damn, like I wish we saw a bit more of Christian Bale in the MCU,
Yeah.
but I don't think he can ever get cast again because they fucking squandered that.
Yep.
And-
That's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dumb. The comedy's off, Too much Taika, too much Korg. It's just
Yeah. I really thought with the movie, I went into the movie thinking that Taika had a really unique sense of comedy, the way James Gunn is.
yeah.
Like, he's just funny. And what he does is it's genuinely funny. It's not forced, it's natural, it feels all natural and stuff.
But I think he just like went
He doubled
ham
down
on
or
it.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, Thor Ragnarok work. Let's just up it 10 times.
Yeah.
People wants to see a rock statue thing.
Yeah.
Boom, chuck that in."
I mean, the Marvel, the MCU is it's filled with cringe moments from the first Iron Man to the latest thing. There's always cringy kind of stuff. But Thor: Love and Thunder is
Just constant.
it's so much cringe, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just parts where I could barely like stomach it.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
And you're right, that speaker scene was probably one of the cringiest. Like, it was just.
yeah.
And then, like, you got the whole plotline with Jane Foster having, what was it, stage 3 or 4 cancer? By having a
And
full.
then just
full
dies.
yeah, but she had a full head of hair the whole time. It was just like.
Yeah.
It was like.
Because they're not gonna, make Natalie Portman bald and a major blockbuster.
I'm pretty sure she's been bald before, though. Like, in a role. I don't know what role.
I think you are right about that, yeah.
But it's just like, if you're going to commit to like having someone with that severe of disease, like commit to actually show it. But no, she like looked fantastic the whole time.
Yeah. And then there's like parts where she's trying to find like her tagline or
her
like,
catchphrase.
yeah, catchphrase and
That's also very cringy.
eat my hammer. It's like when it's like a big moment. It's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Christian Bale parts were nice. Yeah.
All right. What is your number one worst film of 2022?
I don't know if you've guessed it, but I think when I say it, it'll be pretty obvious. Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore.
To be honest, I fully thought that's a 2021 film.
Yeah, I don't know. I like saw it. I'm like, oh, that's easily number one.
Yeah, but now you said, I was like, oh, fuck, they did come out like very early last year.
Yeah.
But no, I understand why that's
Yeah.
your number one.
It's very similar to your reasons for Jurassic World, except I really had no reason to be excited for it. And I wasn't excited for it. That's how bad it is. Fantastic Beasts have been a disaster pretty much from the beginning. The first one I thought was a nice, fun adventure. Second one was a boring, very boring piece of garbage. And this one's pretty much the same. It really tries to lean hard on the Harry Potter nostalgia, but it just feels off. It feels like a CGI fest. The romantic / hatred relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald is weird and unbalanced, and
Not explored properly.
yeah, it's just I'm watching. I'm like, what even is this? It's not Harry Potter. It doesn't feel anything like it. And as a huge Harry Potter fan, yeah, this is just an absolute disappointment. And I'm ready for another 10 years of disappointment from the Harry Potter universe.
The one thing I really didn't like about that film, I mean, there was a lot, but the one that like really got with me was like, I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to call it the little dare thing, that little fucking dare thing that like, sees someone with a pure heart and whatnot. And right, this is at the end.
Yeah.
This is at the end.
I forgot that.
Yeah, and he goes to Dumbledore, and then Dumbledore is like, no, you can't choose me. It's just not allowed. And then he goes to a random character that we never seen before. It's just like, why would you not just have it go to Newt Scamander that we've seen him be like good and whatnot?
Yeah.
Like that would mean so much more than going to some random fucking character that we've never seen before. And like, why are you more worthy over Dumbledore?
I mean, I know that dare thing, but I don't remember much about it. I remember coming out of that movie and being like, this doesn't make sense. Why is this like? But in Harry Potter, they said you can't do this, and it's just like it doesn't even know what it's doing. But yeah, it's David Yates who has to direct everything involved with Harry Potter. He directed like the last 4 Harry Potters, and then directed all of the Fantastic Beasts movies. It's the only job he can get.
Was he directed for Harry Potter 5?
Yes, I think that was his first one.
It was sort of been 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then Fantastic 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And I'm fully expecting an announcement that David Yates will direct the entire Harry Potter series.
I was about to say, surely he's directing the Harry Potter series.
No.
I think that whole thing would just be a podcast special. And it'll just be me being the host. I'll be like, James, what are your thoughts on this? And James just ranting off for an hour.
I could go on about it now. It would be a special. But yeah, that's enough talk about some bad parts of 2022. We're going to talk about the good parts, the bright moments. And there was quite a bit of bright moments. I thought it was a relatively strong year in film. Definitely.
I'm getting ready.
You're getting ready. It's going to be a good one. But no, it's definitely been a better year. I think
since better year since COVID.
Yeah, every year is getting better. 2020 was rough. 2021 was a bit slow too. 2022 it's started to find form again. I think this year we're in for something special. There's a lot to look forward to this year. But 2022 we're going to celebrate those movies now. Nayan, your 10th best film of 2022. Go.
It is. Nope.
Nope.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think the hardest part of making this list was from like... Nice, you're getting on board.
I'm getting ready, mate.
Was from 7 to 10. I think the top 6 I knew exactly what I wanted. Yeah. The top 3 it was set in stone for me, pretty much. But I really had to like think real hard and stuff. And as much as I wanted Avatar to be number 10 or not even mentioned, I was like, it has to feature on this list.
Yeah.
And then I was just trying to find that 10th, and I was mulling, like there's so many good stuff. I was mulling over Bullet Train and Glass Onion and this as well, and Marcel the Shell with Shoes On as well. Mm-hmm. They were all, like all of those films was just wanting to be number 10, but I think Nope is the one that got in the end, just because it may not have been Jordan Peele's best film from what he's directed. Yeah. But it's still very good, and I think it's a very underrated film of 2022 as well.
I definitely think
I think it's because people were expecting it to be on the heights of Get Out and Us, but it didn't quite reach that. Yeah. So no one really talks about it. Yeah. But I think it's just a fantastic film if you actually just watch it as in like you've never seen this director's work. Yeah. So yeah, it's my number 10.
Yeah. I mean, you are right. I mean that after the like 7 to like 14, there's some really good movies. It's hard to find the good order there. I struggle with that part as well on my list. But man, you said everything that I wanted to say. My 10th is Nope as well.
Actually, yeah.
It's very surprising you said that. I didn't think you would put it on. But yeah, no, you covered everything pretty well. I would actually say this is better than Us. Yeah. I think it's probably his most simplistic film. But the way it just builds like tension and drama. I think it's really interesting, and it's just a great watch overall.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele always, adds. He's really good at mystery, and he's really good at building the tension, and it's very atmospheric. I love the visuals and the soundscape that it creates in the film as well.
Yeah.
He's getting really good on the technical side of things. So yeah,
He's actually a director I'm really excited for when his movies get announced and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not quite as the heights of Christopher Nolan, but like, it's like when you hear like, oh, Jordan Peele has a film, and you're like, fuck yes, where's the trailer? I want to see some of this stuff.
You're getting quality. Yeah. He's definitely becoming that, and I think with like, if he does another 3 movies that are similar to his like Get Out, Us, and Nope, he's going to be one of those like big kind of household names soon. Yeah. Number 9th.
Mine.
Yes.
My number 9th is
The 9th.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. Technically, it is an international film, foreign film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it gave me 1917 vibes to it. Just excluding that one-shot stuff, but I think it was just a very refreshing film to see it from the Germans. A World War film. Just it's refreshing to see it from the German perspective, because majority of these war films now, it's always from
patriotic American stuff,
or like British. Like the winning sort of side. We don't really see it from this.
Yeah,
and like we all know that. During that World War time, like the Germans were always perceived as the villains and stuff.
Yeah.
But like throughout this film, you could sort of like sympathize with some of the characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not people like back then, soldiers, like you had the army and stuff, but majority of it was just people pulled from the streets and homes and saying you had to do this.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much what All Quiet on the Western Front showed, was like those people with like barely any training except for like 4 or less weeks.
Yeah.
Like they're actual human beings, like civilians going out into this.
Can you believe that was a thing?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy, yeah. And I thought it would just completely capture that, and like the cinematography was fantastic along with the score.
Yeah.
So it just ticked all the elements.
Yeah.
Your number 9?
No, number 9. I don't know how you react to this one, but my number 9 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I didn't vibe with it on the level of everyone else, but I do genuinely love the movie. I thought it was really good. It had a lot of great ideas. It executed them well. It made its concept very interesting and unique, and there's some really underlying themes in there, and I think the character work is excellent. It's just not a film that I resonated with like a lot on an emotional level. I knew what they were doing, and I felt it and stuff, but it just wasn't enough for me to really get to evoke a really powerful emotional response. But I thought, what the Daniels did on a technical side of things, what they did with the concept, great stuff. Brilliant filmmaking, inventive storytelling. So yeah. Number 9.
I'm interested to see what your next stuff will be. Like, I have a few ideas on what it'll be, but like, what would be the filler ones?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I love the guessing game here. What is your number 8?
My number 8 is probably very high on your list. Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh,
yeah, I made it up to 8.
Probably even made the list, I'm being honest.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as Avatar 1, that's for sure. I just never vibed with Avatar 1 apart from the visuals and score.
Yeah.
But this was generally, it was a good film.
Yeah.
Like, you could definitely tell the big technological advancements, but I'm not really going to get into that because I'm sure you'll cover it.
Yeah.
But it was just more mainly in regards to that story, it was a more tight-knit story, focusing on the family and like introducing this whole other tribe of Na'vi, and having like one tribe integrate with others and trying to like, similar to Next Goal Wins, like having something from another culture, meshing with another culture and try to understand that.
Yeah.
Is what we've got there. And that third act, as you said so many times, on mic and off mic is excellent. So I think I had to, I just couldn't not not have it on my list. It justifies its place on my list.
Glad to hear that. That's nice. I think you were surprised with this one, my number 8. I finished watching it last night. Fabelmans.
Oh,
Yeah.
you enjoyed it?
I loved it, man. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. Steven Spielberg, you just can't bet against the guy. He just creates movie magic. There's something while watching it, it just feels like magical, or like his style is just.
It's like another world, sort of.
Yeah, even though it's completely based in reality, it's just he has a way of, his characters working really well, and how he shoots his movies. It's just it evokes quite powerful emotional responses, and I think it's quite a tender and personal film for him. And you feel it throughout it.
Yeah.
And I love the relationship between the mother and him. It's complex, it's dynamic, and it's messy, like a lot of human relationships. I think it's just so reflective of real life and real relationships and difficulties between people, but also about its ideas about passion and hope and the struggle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Spielberg knows what he's doing. Yeah. Okay, 7th.
Mine is The Northman.
The Northman.
The Northman, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it pretty much lived up to my expectations. Probably not Kyne's. We all know, like, Kyne was very, very amped for this movie. It was his number 1.
Yeah.
For most anticipated 2022 as well. But when I watched it, I was absolutely blown away, like, from everything, production design, the story, the cinematography is fucking fantastic in this film. I think it's probably one of the best I've seen.
Yeah.
Ever? Yeah. In 2022. But yeah, it's just a good, like, sort of like, that Viking type movie.
Yeah.
I sort of wish we did see a bit more. Well, just a bit more of these type of films.
Like Nordic culture and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Because there definitely is a genre or an era in time that really that I really enjoy watching. Stuff like that, like Vikings. I love that show.
Green Knight
as well. But yeah, just add in. I forgot who the director is. I know
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. Yeah, he did the Witch and
The Lighthouse.
In The Lighthouse.
Yeah, he's talented.
Yeah, he always writes good stuff, directs good stuff, and like his cinematography is always fantastic in this. Even though he's not a cinematographer, but it's consistent between those three films.
He has an eye.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's my number 7.
For me, Triangle of Sadness.
Oh,
yeah, this movie
introduced you to Fred again.
Fred again, yes. Great EDM artist there. This movie, it really surprised me. It's quite rare you get like a comedy film on this kind of level. But I love, first of all, it is genuinely funny. There were some scenes that had us rolling.
Yeah.
We had an audience member tell us to shut up.
Do
you remember that?
Yeah. Fucking snobby cunt.
There's some really interesting stuff that's explored, the difference between wealth classes and morality and all this other stuff that's explored alongside the main narrative. I think is really interesting. The whole concept and how things play out and how it gets to its conclusion is just it's great. It's really good stuff. I thought the writing was brilliant. The screenplay is just, I think, fantastic. It's cool to see, or have it be a comedy movie that explores, the snobbery rich people.
Yeah.
And then see how that dynamic can change under different circumstances and just the way humans adapt to changing circumstances and what happens and stuff. So yeah, it was a movie that had me hooked the whole time. Had a movie that had me thinking afterwards, and one that I remember quite fondly. But yeah, you're not going to guess my 6th. I know that.
I'm not going to guess your 6th.
You're not. But what is your 6th?
My 6th
Uh-huh.
is your 7th.
Oh.
Yeah. I had it
Yeah.
as Triangle of Sadness as well. You pretty much covered
Yeah, I
it.
went in depth. I didn't think you'd have it.
You covered it really well. I mean, the thing I can add on was that how much of an unexpected hit we're going into this. Because I remember
Yeah.
I was going to the screening, like, neither of us were that excited because it was something that we didn't hear about. We haven't seen any
You kept being
trailers.
like, well, should we go to this one or not? Or should we focus on other stuff? And
Yeah.
I was like, it's a nominee. It won the Palme d'Or. So we kind of have to go.
Yeah. And sort of glad we did. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, it was just a very unexpected hit. And the last time I felt this sort of feeling from watching like something I didn't even expect to be this good was Spontaneous back in the COVID days. You know, like
Oh, yeah, that movie. Yeah, came.
like none of us thought that was a good film or was going to be a good film because it came out of nowhere, but it was so fucking fantastic. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just hard not to like enjoy it. And it had
No one ever talked about that movie, sadly. Yeah.
and it had like similar vibes, you know, like it had like that sort of serious tone to it, but it was like very funny and whatnot in its ways. And that's similar to what this Triangle of Sadness was.
That's a good comparison,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, your
Alright.
number 6?
My number 6.
The one that I would never guess?
Yeah. Barbarian.
Oh, yeah, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. Yeah, no, I went to this screening of Kind. It was like some film festival screening that Disney offered us to go. So, well, yeah, we'll do it. But yeah, no, Barbarian, it's a horror movie. And you know how I feel about the horror genre. You know, like there are good horror movies. Most of them are bad and poorly produced and whatnot. And so I'm not really a big fan when it comes to the horror genre, especially when it's based in really like supernatural elements. I can't buy into the fear factor of it all just because I know it's fake and you can predict when jump scares are going to happen.
Yeah.
This horror movie had me sweating. I was terrified. I was like genuinely like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen? Like, oh, it's so tense right now. And it kept twisting it and changing. And it was a experience of a horror movie for me.
Yeah.
You know, whenever someone tries to justify horror to me and they always talk about, oh, it's the experience of it all. And this is what they mean. It was one of those movies where I was like, wow. I watched it again at home. Doesn't have the same effect as a cinema, but it's brilliant. The way it lays out its plot is just amazing. And it comes to really kind of a heartfelt, interesting conclusion. So, yeah, my number 6.
And number 6.
Yeah,
May have to watch it one day.
you might have to. Number 5. 5th.
My 5th
Yes.
is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Interesting.
We're expecting it to be that low or higher?
Nah, that fit in. I think I know everything.
You should
I
be
actually
able.
don't.
You should be able to guess it from here.
Yes. I'm missing one, I know that. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a proper multiverse film of 2022.
Sure.
It's the only multiverse film of 2022 that I watched.
Madness.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you pretty much covered it when you talked about it. It was just fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
it's another one that I didn't expect to be that good or like to blow me away as much and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the way it does with the whole the relationship between the mother and the daughter, and just seeing that be built throughout the whole entire film to like a satisfying conclusion, and you know,
Yeah.
the character development. What's his name? Ki Hu Kwan.
Yeah.
Fantastic in this film.
Yeah.
Thoroughly deserved his supporting actor nominee and
All the acting's just
and one.
phenomenal.
Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis.
I didn't even recognize her as like a performance in it until
Yeah.
she won the Oscar.
I think that's the only like bad thing about this film is that she won over what's the daughter's name? I forgot.
Stephanie Hugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she probably should have got on the supporting actress nominee.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ki Hu Kwan, like just the way his acting was fantastic. Like the way he went from like a scared, timid man to like so confident, literally like that. Was fantastic. So yeah,
It was excellent.
surprising. Your number 5.
My number 5, Elvis.
Elvis.
Elvis is a good movie, despite some people that hate the movie for no reason. The movie does have its flaws, and I can acknowledge it. You know, Tom Hanks, one of his worst performances, had a little bit too much focus on the movie. But you take away all of that. You just take away the whole Tom Hanks and Colonel Tom Parker stuff.
Just strip it down to Elvis.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Great. It's a genuinely a really good musical biopic in that case. Any scene that Austin Butler's on, you're really drawn to it. The way it lays out his life in such a chaotic and crazy style of editing and filmmaking is perfectly aligned to him as a persona of Elvis. He lived a crazy life. He went through, you know, so much like turbulence and medical stuff by the end of it, by just being like his life being too chaotic, really. So to lay it out in that way, I thought was just super entertaining. It was long, but yeah, I mean, I was hooked through every concert performance. I was hooked by the performance of Austin Butler, and I thought it was just the Elvis movie that we deserved. Obviously, take out some adjustments, put a little more emphasis on Elvis. It probably would have been higher on this list, but yeah, for what we got, I thought it was brilliant. Yeah. All right, fourth best movie of 2022. Get into the goodies now.
Get into the goodies.
Yeah.
My number 4 is probably the best comedy film I've seen in 2022, and the best horror film in 2022, and the biggest. What am I trying to say? The biggest unexpected film that I never thought would be good, but actually was fantastic in 2022, and the best animated film in 2022. That won an Oscar, I think.
Oh.
It's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Did it win an Oscar? I can't remember.
It didn't win. Best animated feature.
Fucking robbed. But no, it's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like we went.
How's that a horror movie?
The Wolf.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
It had every single child in that screen of ours
screaming,
literally screaming, like out loud as well. That's how terrifying that wolf is. But no, me, you, and Kai went into this film and we were expecting nothing from it. You know, like it was just a good Saturday morning or Sunday morning.
I know film. He was debating on questioning to even come.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt similar, but yeah, that was a movie. I'm like, oh, let's just go. It's a Sunday morning one.
And holy shit, that just blew all of us away. Like in terms of the story, the character development, the cute character, which is the little dog thing that you guys keep referencing. Oh yeah, that's a name.
Perito?
Yeah, Perito, you know. Even the animation style, like you can tell that because the DreamWorks' previous film before this was The Bad Guys, and they went more they started going away from that 3D sort of element to like the more hand-drawn stuff.
Yeah.
Even that was fantastic in this because Puss was that, you know, the classic 3D animated sort of character that you saw in the Shrek franchise, but everything else around him was that hand-drawn comic book looking stuff.
Yeah.
And then like slowly, like, this is what I noticed, like he slowly started to like integrate into that sort of hand-drawn stuff at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
It was fantastic. And the wolf, I mean, so many memes about him and his whistle. Like you see it on like Instagram and TikTok. Like it's.
We knew it'd be a meme. We just knew.
We just knew it'd be a meme. Like everything about this film was just so fucking good. Like unexpected and just so thoroughly enjoyable. Like you can just watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your number 4?
Yeah, you stole it from me. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Yeah, nah, you cover the whole thing. It's just one of those movies where you watch it and throughout the entire runtime, you're just enjoying it. It's just a really easy and blissful watch.
Yeah,
and it changes a lot throughout it. You know, it's funny, and then it's a little bit. There's a lot of tension with the wolf and stuff like that. But the thing that I loved about it, the comedy it works really well.
100%. Yeah,
it's far more better from a comedy perspective than a lot of animated films because it goes a little bit mature with its humor.
Similar to what Fish Shrek was.
Yeah. And obviously you're gonna get the reactions. There's a lot of criticism with the humor in Puss in Boots from like I don't want to stereotype, but an angry mum perspective. Having
The Karens.
the Karens. Yeah, we use the meme, but just having the dog swearing, even though it was censored, and just all that.
Fucking forgot about that scene. So good.
all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, the comedy works, and I think we need a little bit more animated movies where it can appeal to everybody.
Yeah,
and it's not just so just dumbed down Minions kind of stuff. Yeah.
just purely targeted.
These
for
are the
those
animated
kids.
films that work. Is when everybody gets enjoyment from it.
Even if you look at the greats like Aladdin and The Lion King, like
Yeah.
it appealed to both as well.
Yeah.
And they're both considered one of the best animated films.
They got really
Yeah.
dark and deep stuff in them. And that's when the adults can go into it and feel it and stuff like that. The kids get to enjoy the entertainment side of it.
Yeah.
We're entering the top 3 now, 2022. What is your third?
I think you know what my top 3 are, but I don't think you know what order they're in.
I feel like I'm missing one.
Oh, you are?
Oh, no, I know what it is. I know what the third one is. Nearly made my worst.
Yeah.
Batman. No, okay.
All right, guys. See you later.
What is your third best movie?
You're thinking exactly what you're right. It's Pinocchio and not the shitty fucking Disney one that we got with Tom Hanks in it. It's the proper one, the stop motion one. I don't know how to say his first name, so I'll just say his last name. Del Toro's Netflix Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of stop motion sort of animation, and then when I saw this, I loved the trailer for this. I loved it. When I watched it, I loved it as well.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that really made me like this film so much more was just how dark they were willing to go for this sort of Pinocchio storyline. Because if you watch the shitty Disney one, it was just classic Disney happy, fluffy sort of shit. But you actually saw some really dark stuff in this Pinocchio film, and I think it just fully captured what the actual book was in terms of that. And stop motion, I can't talk more about that. It's just
I agree with.
It's the time and effort just to make this film would have been so long, and Del Toro made sure every movement of the stop motion was perfect, and we saw that even the lighting in the film, even though it might be animated, it's still fantastic. So
yeah,
number 3 for me.
Yeah, no, it is beautiful from a craftsmanship perspective. It's a masterful piece of work. No denying that. Yeah, my third is the Batman. Yeah, the Batman.
I think I know what your top 2 is.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious at this point.
I think I know what order as well.
We'll see. The Batman. It's great. I had it as my most anticipated for the year.
We both did.
Yeah, and I thought it matched my expectations just to a T. It didn't blow me away, and it didn't undersatisfy me at all. A great introduction to a new Batman world. And hopefully it just stays consistent, and this is the Batman that we're going to get from now on. But yeah, what can you say that hasn't been said about this movie? It's shot beautifully. Matt Reeves knows exactly what he's doing. I just have no criticisms about it. I thought the Riddler, Paul Dano, intriguing, interesting villain that's done well, and Robert Pattinson does a great performance. It's truly a Batman movie, which is, I think, the part of it that I appreciate the most. Bruce Wayne is the star of the Batman movies, and if you go back, I'm not going to include DCEU Batman, but the Nolan franchise, Bruce Wayne's the star and Batman is the side character. And so this is
you can even say it for Tim Burton's ones, Batman 89 and Returns.
I haven't seen those in a minute, so it's been a while, but at least from memory, Christopher Nolan's ones they more focus on Bruce Wayne, but you see a lot more of Batman in this. You see the detective, you see a little bit of everything, and that's just appreciated, and it's different and it's interesting, and I mean, no bad words. I do love the Batman, but I think the Batman Part 2 has a lot more potential. Everything's established now, the characters and stuff, so now we can really get into it. Similar to the way The Dark Knight really improves on Batman Begins. Yeah. As an origin for Batman story, I'd put it just a notch above Batman Begins. Yeah. What's your third? Wait, second best of 2022.
Mine is
Uh,
The Batman.
oh shit! Interesting. I thought that'd be first. I thought the Batman bias would come through.
Nah.
this makes me proud.
There's definitely a better film that definitely gets that recognition, and you probably know it by now, but everyone else doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pretty much said it all. Really, you captured it perfectly how Batman was a central character in this rather than Bruce Wayne, and that's exactly how it is in the comics. Batman is the main character, and Bruce Wayne is a persona.
Yeah.
I got everything I wanted from this film. No doubt, it was always going to be my number one, and come Batman 2 when that comes out, spoiler alert, it's going to be my number one.
Yeah.
For most anticipated, but yeah, I like just the way like they do the fight choreography throughout this film as well.
Oh, yes.
It's a bit, it's fantastic. Like it's not as much as I thought they would go into from that trailer. But like the hand-to-hand combat and everything, like I think we talked about it when that first trailer came out, was it's very John Wick-esque sort of fighting style, and we got that in this film, and I hope they improve on that and like just go full on with that sort of fighting style. Definitely should have got a cinematography nomination. 100%. Definitely got robbed from a nomination.
We're both salty about that.
Like the camera work, like in that in the film, like the whole penguin chasing, you know, like
excellent stuff. Yeah,
excellent stuff. The whole upside down shot with the burning flames and the darkness background.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Robert Pattinson blew pretty much everyone away, including myself, when that cast announcement came out. Everyone was like shitting on him because they were still comparing him to Twilight, and then you pulled me to a side and we're like, watch his other stuff, and I did, and I could get behind it.
Yeah,
and then he just pretty much.
I mean, as soon as it was announced to be out, I'm like, okay, this is a good choice. And then everyone clowned him online, and then because his other stuff was really small, but you watch it and you're like, oh shit, this guy's a really talented actor.
Yeah. James's words to me was, watch Good Time and your opinion will change. And that's exactly what I did.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only movie you really need. But here's a bunch of other good stuff out there.
Yeah. So I think he was a fantastic Batman. Probably like Christian Bale's always going to be number one, but Robert Pattinson has the makings to overtake him, depending on how the next two films go.
Yeah, I think we need more Bruce Wayne to really see him. As to really compare, just because you see a lot more Christian Bale, and then you just see a lot of Robert Pattinson behind the mask. They're very different performances.
Even the Riddler, like it's nice to see the Riddler get done justice properly.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm hoping like Matt Reeves brings in like these sort of minor A level to B level villains, and
Riddler's always been A level, I feel.
And when I was like minor, like.
Not done in films, but like everywhere else, he's quite well known.
Everyone's copying, saying like the Joker shouldn't be in it and whatnot, but there's arguments saying that you can't have a Batman film without a Joker. You know,
we've got a lot of those kind of movies.
Yeah, I know, and I'm on that fence. I want to see other Batman villains come. Explored.
I think I was saying this to Kyan in terms of the whole Joker being in this. I would love the Joker to be in very small, less than 5 minutes,
like cameo sort of
in each kind of Batman thing. And then him being a puppet master to something big, say in the fourth Batman movie or the third Batman movie, or even a bigger part of like some other franchise. Just him pulling the strings, building allies between the other villains, and creating a group or something like that. I hope the Batman 2 doesn't really just go full on Joker.
I don't think it will as well. I think Matt Reeves knows that we've seen Joker so many times that he's just happy for him to be like a side character and let these lesser villains shine. But in Reeves we trust, and I have my full trust in him.
He's gonna nail the Batman universe.
Your number 2, which one is it?
Avatar: The Way of Water.
Knew it.
No, this movie I thought it was fantastic. From a technological, visual effects standpoint, brilliant. The best in history. You can't deny it. In terms of visual effects quality, it is the best in history. The 3D in it, the best in history. So, you got that. And then the production design is just impeccable. Like, it's just like creating... Everything you see in that movie is new and designed and thought of. Like even like shit like the grass is very different to grass that's in Earth, and all the plants and
Animals.
and the environments and the layouts and everything is just it's crazy how this world has just been made up. And just the world building in that sense, I think, is just amazing. Obviously the story is not like, it's not like a best original screenplay kind of thing, but it is, it's improved upon. It has a direction now, and it kind of knows what it's doing, and establishing the family element of it, I thought it was done really well. And yeah, as you touched upon, I think the third act is a masterclass in terms of blockbuster filmmaking. That rise in tension, that ship slowly sinking, and the cathartic end to all of that. I think it's just really well done. I think the Avatar series is a series that's destined to continuously keep improving. And yeah, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm excited to see it all. And yeah, even if you don't appreciate the story of the characters, you can just go in and just let your eyes enjoy what it sees.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right, mate. Best movie of 2022. What is it?
We know it, and I know what yours is as well.
Oh, do you?
100%. 100%. It's Top Gun Maverick. Like,
Top Gun Maverick.
This is another film that blew both of us away.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to reveal your number one? Because I'm sure we'll just talk about this together.
It is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh.
I made both. Yeah. Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, this is a film that literally blew both of us away. I mean, we both saw the first Top Gun.
So good.
Yeah, like the first Top Gun was good, but like we just was like we're both regretting not including Top Gun Maverick on our 2022 most anticipated list because like we were not expecting how good this film was, and it was just jaw dropping.
It was
like
crazy. Yeah.
Tom Cruise like willing to like put time to like teach his cast members how to fly a plane and whatnot and get it perfect. Like he is just like Hollywood's like go-to guy, and like probably the only actor around that like appreciates what film and filmmaking is all about. From an actor point of view. The sound was fantastic. Score. Like probably easily one of the best film scores of 2022. The tension, like that whole third act had both of us like on our edge, like constantly sweating, heart beating. And that was just not the first watch. It was like the first, like second, third, and fourth watches as well. Even though we know what we're gonna get with it. Storyline made complete sense as well. Visuals was fantastic. Anything else you want to add on?
Oh man, you covered it all. But I'm just gonna echo what you say because it needs to be said again. Yeah, like from a filmmaking standpoint, just excellent stuff. I think the editing is amazing. The way it builds tension throughout the entire story. The story itself, it honors the legacy of the first movie while paving its own story that's justified. The build up to the third act is just so impressive. The characters are all really well done. They're likable. The story with Goose's son, I forgot, Rooster. Rooster and Maverick is just that's a really an emotional draw, and they really push that by the end of it. It's a movie that's an experience. It's a movie that honors filmmaking. It's got excellent acting. It has all the ingredients.
It's even very emotional. Like
is very emotional.
Scene between Maverick and Iceman as well. Like especially if you know like what Val Kilmer has gone through. Like
he's going through.
That scene as well. Like you were just like fuck. Like this is emotional.
Yeah, it is really emotional in the part where like you think he dies, and the ending is just so like emotionally cathartic because like of what they went through, and then like they hug each other, and that music's pumping in the background. It's one of those rare movies, and I think you get them like once every 2 years where just everything works. Just everything works. We got a domestic next to us. We'll go into that soon. But yeah, I think we both covered that movie. Yeah.
Definitely, I think this is the film that saved Hollywood.
It is the film that saved Hollywood, I think. I think that's absolutely correct because sure, No Way Home made more money, but that's an MCU movie, and they had Spider-Man, and it had the old Spider-Mans. It was going to
And
make
it's a
money.
very well-known brand. Like Top Gun
Yeah.
Maverick is just known by the people in the 80s, 60s?
Yeah, 1980s at some
80s, yeah.
But then this movie comes out, makes like $1.5 billion and gets over 700 million in the United States.
Crazy.
And just the way it held on. And it's not just that, it's like everybody loved this movie. Like
I've never met someone or seen a bad comment about Top Gun Maverick.
it's just one of those movies that are impossible to hate. Yeah. I think I mean, and everyone saw it. I mean, I was at the physio one time, like, oh yeah, I'm going to see Top Gun. And the next appointment, like, wow, it was amazing. Like, it's just one of those movies that everybody loved. And yeah, we need more movies like Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that is going to do it from us. We're going to have a collated official movie gains list of the best films for 2022 and our upcoming special, the Movie Gains Awards. So look forward to that. There'll be
spoiler alert on what number one is, by the way.
Oh, well, we'll see. You never know what might pop in there. But, yep, we're going to be dropping the episode pretty close to this one. So, yeah, just keep a lookout for that. Have those notifications on. Yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening from. Turn on those notifications to never miss another one of these episodes. Chuck us a follow on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube to support us and the show. But before we sign off, we want to hear your thoughts. Did you agree with everything that we talked about today? Are you excited for some of the trailers that released at CinemaCon? Excited for The Flash, maybe? Do you disagree with our worst and best films of 2022? Yeah, whatever it is, whatever you thought, jump onto Twitter at MovieGains. Flick us a message on there. Head over to MovieGains.com for our 4K reviews, box office analysis, and coverage of award season. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See you later.